So the first trend we're going to look at is Threads, and how Threads is on the up, and Meta, which is the holding company that owns Facebook and Instagram, launched Threads last year in July 2023. So far, it's amassed over 160 million users to date, which is a significant amount of growth. Um, it was always launched as a direct alternative to X, formerly known as Twitter. It's a short form text base, but also media, images and video into the mix too. But it's a place for topical conversations. It works very similar to Twitter. It also has some design elements taken from the Instagram platform. Um, it was always Meta's intention for Threads to be as decentralized as possible, trying to make sure that their users are in control of their own privacy, how they view content, how they create and interact with content as well. Now, it's not quite fully there in terms of total decentralization, um, but as recently as the end of last year, Meta made a number of announcements about how Threads has become more interoperable, meaning it'll give people more options in how they interact and how that their content can actually reach other social platforms. So it's interoperable between various social media platforms, which we'll touch on in a second. But this so decentralization notion is really about groups of social media channels using very similar protocols. Um, and essentially, all of these social media platforms will be um, hosted on millions of independent servers, and they're all teamed up to run multiple social media platforms. And I guess nobody's in charge, and there's no central source pulling the strings. There's no central source with its own rules and its own algorithms and dictating who sees what content. And Meta is really wants to roll the dice on this decentralized approach. I think it's been termed the Fediverse, and that's where we'll see Threads content turn up on other platforms like other decentralized platforms like Mastodon, Steemit, and Minds. Now, um, to the I guess the regular social media users, this isn't maybe hugely important, but as we see maybe over the next 12 months or so, we'll see this become more and more important for social media users. As a summary, I've mentioned before that Threads is about sharing text and image updates. It's mostly about participating in conversations. 96% of Threads users frequently use the Instagram platform, and that's probably one of the key reasons for its growth. Basically, if you had an Instagram account, with a click of a button, you could create a Threads account, and all your Instagram community would, if they have Threads as well, they would instantly follow you, and you would instantly follow them. So there was a ready-made audience there, which really helped its growth. I think it grew 100 million users in the first week or so, and largely that was to do with the tie-in it has with Instagram. As I said before, it was launched pretty much in direct competition to Twitter, or X, and the decline in X in terms of usage, in terms of large global brands pulling their spending from the platform due to I guess the negative publicity and some of the decisions that they've made in terms of premium accounts and where anyone can be verified if they pay it, and so some of those items have really left some disenfranchised users. So it's come at a really good time for that platform, which could see it really take hold over the next 12 months. And I suppose it's quite strange that even though this platform was only launched maybe 6 months ago, last July or whatever, a lot of social media experts have been talking about the resurgence of Threads, even though it's a very new platform. But I suppose to explain that a little is what happened was obviously it had all this huge fanfare of launching 100 million users in a week, and a lot of column inches, I suppose, were dedicated to it. And then all of a sudden, it started to plateau a little. The active users was dwindling, but um, in December there of 2023, it was then made available to more EU countries, which obviously is a huge audience, and they weren't able to use it before. So that is expected to give it another boost, and with more and more features coming over the next 12 months, potentially advertising as well. It's expected to get a little bit of a resurrection and be more popular and used more broadly in 2024. And just in terms of Threads, so the main goal of Threads is to really is to allow its users to have more meaningful conversations and join connected communities. And I suppose if your business has had some good success on the Twitter platform, for example, or you feel this platform could help you engage with a niche audience that you might have, I would suggest at the very least to register for an account, lock in your brand name on Threads, but do your research. Look at brands that are doing really well on Threads, such as Canva, are really good on Threads, as are TED Talks, as are Spotify, as are HubSpot. See what type of content that they're putting out there, see how they are sparking discussion rather than trying to drive traffic to their websites or their platforms. And they're really sparking discussion, and Threads is really all about that in-platform discussion and getting involved and participating in the conversation. So if you think that's something that you want to participate in or could be really beneficial for your business, get on the platform, seek out targeted communities, find a community of like-minded people to your customers. Avoid posting bland, throwaway, generic content. Instead, post topical questions, conversation starters, discuss trending news in your geographic area or in your business area, or in general. Give your opinion on it. Personal or business or brand opinions and stories really resonate well with audiences because they're authentic. Because it is I suppose a text-based platform. Quotes always seem to work quite well on the platform as well.